In Squid Game, dying was part of the deal, but some players didn't lose. They were robbed. They followed the rules, they cleared the game, and still got eliminated. These are the deaths that broke the system, where fair play and skill meant nothing. Starting with the one player whose skill got him killed. He was the one player who could have broken the system, so they broke him first. Dude, Youngsu didn't die because he failed. He died because the game changed the rules the second he figured them out. A former glassmaker with 30 years of experience. He stepped up late in the glass bridge game and calmly said,
"When you look at tempered glass, when it's lit from the side, then you can see faint stain marks."
He wasn't guessing. He could literally see the difference. For probably the first time, a player had a real skill that removed the luck. The VIPs noticed it too. One of them whispered,
"Number 13 definitely sees something that the others can't."
So they cut the lights and stole his edge. That wasn't a game mechanic. That was sabotage. Still, he adapted. He used Gi-hun's marble to test the sound, tempered glass rings clearer. But he was one step from the end and needed a second to compare. Nobody had one. And the timer kept ticking. And that's when Sang-woo shoved him to his death. Not because he was wrong, but because he was right. And while Jung-soo was punished for seeing too much, the next player was eliminated for something she never even saw coming. She wasn't running for victory. She was running to stay with her friend. Youngmi had no strategy, no allies in high places. Just Hyunju, her Unnie, and the hope they could leave together. During the mingle, in the chaos of the fourth round, players scrambled for teams of 6. Doors slammed. Time ran out. And while others shoved their way to safety, Youngmi tripped, pushed by player 51, who'd just been kicked out of another room. Hyunju screamed her name, tried to pull her in, but player 333, her own teammate Lee Myung-gi, slammed the door shut, locking them apart forever. Through the glass, Youngmi cried,
"언니! Youngmi! Youngmi!"
A second later, a shot rang out. Youngmi was never targeted, never chose wrong, never betrayed anyone. She was simply in the way. And while the others lived to justify it, her corpse was boxed and forgotten. The system didn't care that she was innocent, but Hyunju did. And in the next vote, she chose X for her. But the next death wasn't of a victim, it was of a threat. He stayed quiet, but broke the rules louder than anyone. Byung-gi wasn't just a player, he was a disgraced surgeon who came in with a plan. From the second game, he aligned with the guards, removing organs from dead players in exchange for clues. While others guessed, he already knew what was coming. Hidden inside his food were slips of paper, hints for the next round. But when the guards stopped delivering, he snapped.
"Tell me what the game is, or else I'm gonna end up getting killed tonight!"
He stabbed one, tried to run, desperate, exposed, and that's when the front man stepped in. He shot the organ trafficking manager himself and had the guards execute Byung-gi on the spot. His body was strung up above the stairs, a warning to every player. He wasn't the only one cheating, just the only one punished for it. Byung-gi didn't die because he failed. He died because he played too well and made the system look unfair. But the next player didn't cheat. He made the right choice and died anyway. Player 151 wasn't reckless. He wasn't stalling. He told player 21 to go left while the man ahead of him, player 244, insisted on the right. 21 trusted 151, stepped left, and fell. A fatal mistake that wasn't even his. 151 kept going, still ahead of the timer. But when player 244 froze mid-path and began praying, the pressure behind them built fast. Players shouted. Deoksu threatened.
"You want to wind up dead, buddy?"
So 151 jumped forward onto 244's tile and tried to shove him, but 244 shoved back, and 151 fell through the glass. He didn't slip, he didn't choose wrong, he just tried to move the game forward, he followed the rules. But in Squid Game, that's not always the winning move. And while 151 was punished for pushing forward, the next player died for something even smaller, a flinch. Kang Mi-na, player 196, was stylish, playful, and unaware. When Gi-hun warned the group about being shot, she brushed it off.
That guy's gotta be drunk or something.
She followed the rules until nature broke her. A bee landed on her neck mid-game. Mina froze and whispered.
What's that?
Thanos replied.
"It knows you're a flower. You got a bee crawling on you."
A bee?
And that was it.
Shit, I just moved, didn't I?
She was the first player to die in Season 2, not because she played poorly, but because a random bee triggered a survival reflex. She didn't break the rules, her body just reacted. And while Mina died during a real game, The next death came in a game with no rules. Sammy didn't die in a game. She died for the game. One vote away from ending it all. Her side had the numbers, 48 to 47.
Okay, then. Tomorrow we'll have the advantage.
She's right, it's 48 to 47. As long as nobody else swaps, we're gonna win tomorrow by 1 vote.
But someone didn't want that future. Nam-gyu, bitter, humiliated. After his ally Thanos was killed in the bathroom ambush, Nam-gyu's group lost the numbers. Sammy's group had just flipped the game, and he blamed her. When the lights went out, he found her.
Hey, Sammy. You come here.
He dragged her down into the chaos and killed her. Sammy didn't kill, didn't plot. She trusted the vote. She believed the system would hold. But in Squid Game, fair is just a story we tell ourselves. And Sammy was the cost of believing in it, and while she paid for playing by the rules, the next player died for not playing at all. Young Min-tae had made it through every game. Red light, honeycomb, tug of war, marbles. And on the glass bridge, all he had to do was wait. But that's when the game stopped being fair. The player ahead of him, Deoksu, froze.
Not going until you do.
But the rule is we go in order.
We're in hell here. There's no rules in hell.
Min-tae stood his ground, one man holding the line, until Han Minyo snapped.
Just go!
She shoved him forward. Deoksu caught him and threw him off the bridge. Young Min-tae never got to pick, never even stepped forward. He died for believing there was still structure, still order, still a game that was fair, and while his death was cruel, at least he didn't die after surviving like the next player. Kim Nam-do almost didn't make it, not because he failed, but because the system thought he did. In red light, green light, he got caught in a human domino. Player 165 was shot. He fell into player 384. She toppled onto Nam-do. The doll turned.
It's not my fault! Hold on, that's not fair!
The gun didn't care. Nam-do was shot in the leg, labeled eliminated, but somehow he was still alive. Gi-hun turned back, dragged him from the dirt, nearly fell trying. Then Hyunju appeared, a tank. She grabbed Nam-do's other arm, held them steady. They ran, they made it, just in time. Nam-do hit the finish line with seconds left. He looked up, smiled.
Thank you so much.
And then a bullet to the head. The game never forgot. He was marked dead. So dead is what he became. It was cruel, it was fast, and it was unfair. Because he finished the game. But while Nam-do died after crossing the line, the next player's death proved Squid Game could be just as unfair outside the games. Player 271 didn't lose a game. He was killed, just for being hungry. After surviving Honeycomb, he lined up for his meal, but the food was gone. Deoksu's gang had taken extra.
Who do you think you are? That's my food you just ate!
He tried to speak up, tried to take back what was his, but Deoksu's bottle shattered in the struggle, and that was all Deoksu needed.
You little God damn it.
He beat 271 to death in front of everyone. No one stopped him. Not a single guard or player intervened. Sang-woo and Gi-hun went over to check on him, but the only answer was a cold announcement.
He's gone.
Not for breaking a rule, not for quitting, just for asking to eat. And if that doesn't prove how broken this game is, wait until you meet the next one. Sim Jae-seok survived red light, green light. Survived the six-legged pentathlon. Now in Mingle, he and his partner ran towards room 33. Jae-seok made it in. 285 got grabbed. Jae-seok stood his ground.
We were here before you guys!
But In-ho didn't care. 285 screamed from outside.
Open the door!
Inside, In-ho grabbed Jae-seok, and with seconds left, he snapped his neck. 2 players remained in the room. The round was complete. No rule broken. Just a man removed. Jae-seok was there first. He played fair, but fairness doesn't matter here, because in Squid Game, survival isn't earned, it's stolen. But while Jae-seok died fighting for a spot, the next player won everything and still lost it all. Ali didn't lose because he was dumb. He lost because he still believed in the one person who had already stopped playing fair. Sang-woo had 1 marble left. It was over, and in that moment, he cracked.
You gotta be cheating. The odds should be 50-50. That means you're cheating!
Ali was stunned.
Sir, I wouldn't do that to you.
But Sang-woo wasn't searching for truth. He was searching for a way out. Minutes later, the rage turned into something else. Tears, apologies, desperation.
God, I'm so sorry, Ali. But I can't die this way, I beg you. They'll kill my family.
Ali said no.
I have to think of my family.
That should have ended it. But Sang-woo leaned in deeper, weaponizing the bond they'd built.
You and I swore that we'd leave here together, right, Ali?
Ali gave in. Then came the lie, sold his logic.
Some teams aren't gonna have a winner when time is finally up, right? Makes no sense. They have to decide who won. You and I can play as a team.
Ali agreed. He even handed over his marbles pouch.
Here, I'll make sure that it's safe, okay?
And while Ali ran off to scout other players, still believing, still loyal, Sang-woo tied up a pouch full of rocks. When Ali came back, hopeful and smiling, it was already too late.
Player 199 eliminated.
This wasn't just a death, it was betrayal, weaponized. Ali had nearly all 20 marbles. He had already won, but the game didn't stop the con because technically no rule was broken, just a person. It was still unfair, but while Ali was betrayed by someone he called brother, the next player was killed by something no one saw coming. Sae-byuk survived everything: red light, honeycomb, tug of war, even the glass bridge where she saved Gi-hun's life.
It's the left. It's the left one.
But the reward for making it through was a shard of glass slicing into her gut. She didn't scream, didn't ask for help. She patched herself up, quietly, alone. And when Gi-hun finally noticed, all she said was,
I think I want to go. I like to go home now.
she was dying, but still made a deal for her brother's future.
Just in case either of us can actually make it out of this hellhole somehow. We'll look after each other's loved ones, okay?
Gi-hun panicked. He banged on the door, screamed for help, and while he was gone, while she laid unconscious in bed, Sang-woo stood over her and stabbed her. When Gi-hun noticed, she was already dead. And later, when he asked why, Sang-woo didn't even flinch.
You would have given up. You and that girl would have been the majority you needed to get out.
Sae-byuk wasn't just eliminated, she was executed. She earned her place in the final game. She was robbed of it, and the system let it happen because no rule had technically been broken. She didn't lose. She was never allowed to win. But while she was killed in her bed, the next person chose to die in a game that wasn't even part of Squid Game. Mr. Kim wasn't supposed to be a hero. He was a loan shark, a man who beat people, stole organs, and once threatened to take Gi-hun's kidney when he couldn't pay up. But in Season 2, everything flipped. Gi-hun paid his debt and hired him. Now, Mr. Kim was helping him track down the man who dragged him into the games in the first place, the recruiter. After years of searching, they finally found him. The plan was simple: follow him until Gi-hun arrived, but Mr. Kim acted early, and it cost him. The recruiter captured him, along with his best friend Woo Seok, and forced them into a game that wasn't even part of Squid Game.
We'll play rock, paper, scissors -1. If the one you keep beats their hand, you win. But if you lose, then I aim at the loser's head and give the trigger a good pull.
They played a few rounds, but when Woo Seok froze in fear, Mr. Kim stepped in, and at the final round, he sacrificed himself to spare his friend. And just like that, he was gone. No spotlight, no send-off, just a forgotten character who died so someone else could live. He wasn't even in the games, yet he died because of them, and that's what made his death so unfair. Because in the end, he didn't just die, he chose to protect someone else. If Mr. Kim had been in the games, he would have deserved a win, but he wasn't the only one who made that kind of sacrifice. There were others, players who didn't just play to survive, but to protect, redeem, or save someone else. Watch every player who deserved to win Squid Game and see who truly earned it.